I'm Angie Callahan. Welcome to School Talk Monthly. In this program, we have a conversation with Poquoson Superintendent Jennifer Parrish. We'll get a tour of the CII Newsletter Interactive, visit the Virginia Children's Festival, and find out who our Schools of the Month are. The Kennedy Center Performing Arts Series brings 2 live productions to your classrooms in December. On Thursday, December 3rd, it's a discussion with the director and cast members from Samuel Beckett's most popular work, Waiting for Godot, with video clips from their performance at the Gate Theatre in Dublin. Then on Friday, December 18th, Stephen Harris and his band Blackout teach students what to listen for in jazz. Both programs air live from 11 a.m. until 12 noon. To register, go to kennedy-center.org/education/PWTV. Now let's take a look at the field trip coming in December from Colonial Williamsburg.
History comes alive with Colonial Williamsburg's electronic field trip series. Can a piece of pottery tell a story? Learn what objects from long ago can tell us about history. Watch Jamestown Unearthed and experience the Emmy Award-winning electronic field trip series. Register your school today.
Jamestown Unearthed airs live Thursday, December 10th at 10 a.m. and again at 1 p.m. For more information on this live electronic field trip, go to history.org/trips. On Wednesday, December 16th, the Fairfax Network takes educators inside the National Archives. The Archives education staff demonstrates how teachers can keep students engaged while presenting the lessons that our nation's documents can teach. These educators share the documents they love to teach with and how the National Archives website and its teaching activities are correlated to standards and cross-curricular connections. Teaching with Documents from the National Archives airs live Wednesday, December 16th, beginning at 1 p.m. For more information, visit fcps.edu/Fairfax Network. Speaking of websites, here's WHRO's Educational Technology Manager, Annie Gilstrap, with a tour of Interactive Online.
I am hoping that what you are currently viewing on your screen is somewhat familiar. If not, then don't worry. We're here today to share with you where you can find this online document, as well as how to navigate this document. Interactive, the CII WHRO e-newsletter, includes professional development, educational technology resources, as well as stories. Let's start from the beginning. Where can this document be found? You may have received it in your mailbox in the school in the past, but now you can type this URL directly into your web browser, www.whro.org/CII/e-news. This is the only address you need, and you can post it on your own website. You can also find it on the CII website, www.whro.org/CII. If you don't want to worry about any of these addresses, go ahead and subscribe. Just give us your email and you'll automatically get the updates. Click on the graphic here to take us to the current issue. Are you ready to explore Interactive? On the top of the page, you have a few links: Contact, Course Search, Course Calendar, Subscribe, and Register Now. Contact, send us any questions or stories on educational resources at interactive@whro.org. Course Search, you can easily search or view for the courses that are available. Just accept the terms. Then you can click on the Course tab and search by keyword, or just leave the criteria blank to view all the courses currently scheduled. Course Calendar, you can easily view the course calendar. Again, accept the terms and conditions. Click on the Course Catalog tab, then click on View Schedule Calendar. You can navigate through each month and view the courses available. Subscribe, we just mentioned this. You can provide us some basic data, including your email address, and choose the CI Updates newsletter, and then subscribe, and you'll be kept up to date with the courses and other educational technology events in the Hampton Roads area. Register now. If you see the course you'd like to take, don't waste any more time and register. A full registration video is available within Interactive. Moving down to the main content of the page, on the left are professional development opportunities provided by Virginia's PBS Teacher Line, PBS Teacher Line, and Virginia's Community of Anytime Knowledge. The courses are listed by curriculum area. There are two links at the top that are very important. The first being the video tutorial on how to register. Just click play and view the whole process. The other link takes you to the courses by dates. You can easily scroll through to see what's coming up and click on the More button to view the full description, including the syllabus. If the course, dates, and recertification points meet your needs, then you can click on Register to register for the course, or go ahead back to the e-newsletter and we'll take a look at the rest. As we keep going down the list, you'll see the different curriculum areas to choose from. If you'd like to see math courses available, click on Math and it'll take you to that list. Return to the top to search for another curriculum area. How about instructional technology? Here's one that's coming up. If I'm interested in this but want more information, clicking on the More button will take me to the full description and more details, including the syllabus. At this point, you can click on Register or head on back by clicking on Return to e-news. On the right-hand side are the stories. These may include CII activity updates, online learning updates, WHRO event updates, technology in the schools, other educational technology events, educational technology resources, dates to know, buy now at Amazon to support WHRO, and how to become a WHRO member. Please also keep in mind that if you're looking for an older story, you can find them archived here. This includes PDFs of the hard copies we used to deliver to your mailboxes at school, as well as the new web version. To view a story, just click on the link to bring you to a brief overview. Clicking More will take you to more information. And you can scroll through and view all of the great information. This one happens to be the Great Computer Challenge. Once you've viewed the story, you can navigate back to Interactive by clicking on the graphic to the right. Interactive, WHRO CIE News. I know everyone loves a page where you can do a good search. Even though the e-newsletter does not have a search feature built in, you can do a basic search on any page, basically. You know the trick, Control F or Edit Find. So if you just can't seem to be able to put your hands on something, try this trick and hopefully you'll be able to find what you're looking for. If not, send us an email at interactive@whro.org or send us some great stories or resources. We hope that you have enjoyed the tour of Interactive.
Recently, we sat down with an area school superintendent for a conversation about her division. With me in the studio is Dr. Jennifer Parrish. She is superintendent of Poquoson Schools. We are so happy you came by School Talk to sit in for a little while here and chat with us, Dr. Parrish.
Well,
thanks for coming.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here this morning.
Okay, Dr. Parrish, let's start out with, why did you go into education as a career?
It all started, I guess, probably back in college, and I just had an interest in teaching and moved right into that and found that I fell in love with the position and moved from teaching into administration and eventually became a superintendent a year ago.
Yes, that's right. You're one of our newest superintendents here in the Hampton Roads area. Well, when you were teaching, what did you teach?
I actually taught middle school, and I taught English and social studies to 7th and 8th graders, as well as some reading, so did a variety of subjects actually.
And how long were you teaching?
I taught for about 5.5 years before I moved into administration.
And why did you decide to go into administration?
I think I decided as I got into teaching that I really wanted to try to do more for more people, and thought in administration I might be able to do that because I could impact students across classrooms rather than just in my classroom.
Well, that's great, and congratulations for moving up the ladder and now as your role as the superintendent. That's excellent.
Well, thank you.
We're very proud of you. Let's talk a little bit about Poquoson, about the school division in terms of demographics. Can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, Poquoson is a small school division because Poquoson City is a small city. It's about 12,000 people live in Poquoson, so our school division's only got about 2,400 students, and we have 4 schools. In terms of demographics, we are not as diverse as some of the school divisions in the area. We do have some economic diversity, certainly during these difficult times as well. But it really is a small town school system in the middle of a pretty big metropolitan area.
Right. You're near Hampton. You're near Newport News, but it's a little small community. I've been over to Poquoson, and that is exactly how it feels when you come into the area. Well, what about your priorities in the school division? What are some of your priorities?
I would say overall for the school system, we really want to make sure that we prepare our students to be productive citizens, both locally and globally. Certainly in this area, you aren't going to exist just in a vacuum as we see globalization occurring more and more rapidly. So we really want to prepare our students for that, which means we need to prepare them both academically and as well as getting them ready for the world they'll face. We need to make sure they have those skills. They need to be problem solvers. They need to be creative thinkers. They need to be able to work with people. So beyond our academic programs, we really encourage our students to become involved in a lot of other activities and civic projects and the like. So we're really hoping to prepare our students for the future and ensure that they're very well rounded when they leave us. Obviously, it's important for us in the area of academics that we ensure they meet the benchmarks they have and pass the standardized tests that they have, but there's a lot more to what we do for children in Poquoson.
That's great. Those 21st century skills that you were talking about as far as problem solving and being able to work on a team, those are very important, and those aren't really covered in the SOLs.
Right. So we have to work those in other ways, and our teachers do a wonderful job of doing that, both in the classroom and in some of those activities outside of the classroom as well.
That's great. Tell us about some of those activities that they do outside the classroom to become more global citizens.
Yeah, our students are often very involved in different civic activities, whether they're out there fundraising for different needs or out in the community helping to clean the marsh area. We are very much a water community and very sensitive to environmental issues, which our students become very involved in too, and is certainly a global issue for us. As a matter of fact, our brand new elementary school has very much an environmental focus, so our students and teachers there are very engaged in a variety of ways. Our students do things like Odyssey of the Mind, which certainly encourages a lot of creative thinking outside the classroom, and Poquoson has historically been very successful in that area in terms of those competitions. And you can't talk about other activities without talking about athletics. We've got some state championship teams, but that too builds that notion of teamwork for our students as they move outside of the classroom.
Sure it does. Well, what would you, you're sort of talking about your successes right now, but if you had to point to a couple of things, what would you say are the real successes that you see?
I would say some of the instructional programming that we've done really have shown success. You know, we traditionally have some of the highest test scores in the state, which we're certainly very proud of, and we've maintained that tradition. Our schools are once again fully accredited by the state, and all of our 4 schools met AYP. Our students continue to show improvement in areas like advanced placement testing. 10% more of our students receive the highest scores. So all of our instructional data indicates how successful we've been, but we've also put in some programs that are unique. For example, we've put a Spanish program in. So all of our students in 3rd grade begin taking Spanish, and that carries all the way through the elementary school, and then they can move into Spanish in the middle school. And we involve the community in our Spanish program. We have conversation buddies who are native speakers that come in. So that ties to our notion of we need to prepare our students for that global world, and that foreign language helps to do that. And we also have international programs for our students. While we're a small school division in Virginia, we're connected with a school in Panama, Uruguay, and also the Czech Republic. So we have students who go to those schools and students from those schools who come see us, and of course through technology they stay connected throughout the year. So we have some very unique programs that have been very successful as we really do prepare our students for the future, in addition to all those programs that support the instruction in the classroom.
That's wonderful. I wasn't aware of that. So you have an exchange program with 3 different countries, right?
3 different countries, yes.
That's
so,
wonderful.
Very exciting.
That's wonderful. Well, and as is the fact that you have top scores across the state in the standardized testing, the SOLs. You mentioned AYP, and just for clarification, can you talk a little bit about what AYP means?
Yes, certainly we educators throw around these acronyms, and they can be rather confusing. There is the No Child Left Behind Act in place, and all school divisions across the country are meeting the benchmarks or attempting to meet those benchmarks. So we, as a school division, have to show adequate yearly progress each year, which means we have to ensure that our students pass math and reading tests at a certain rate. And so this year, all 4 of our schools were able to do that and meet what we call AYP.
That's great, and congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Well, you have wonderful programs going on. You have great academic success there in Poquoson, but I'm sure there are challenges So what would you say are some of your challenges that you face?
I think in many ways, and people are becoming, I think, more and more aware of this, our greatest challenge right now are the fiscal challenges we're facing. We've had a very difficult budget year last year due to the economy. We cut over $1.2 million from our budget, and some people may sit back and say, well, that doesn't sound like too much, but when you're a small school division and your budget's only $22 million, it's quite a bit of money. So our challenge, I think, is continuing to do the best that we can for our students and ensure we maintain that academic success, that those other activities are maintained while still dealing with the budget situation that we're dealing with. And unfortunately, we think coming into the next year that we're going to have another difficult budget year. So that's the challenge we face as we continue to meet those targets that, for example, No Child Left Behind is raising. So we need to keep making sure all of our students are successful in the middle of this environment. So that's a challenge.
And it's a tough one. Cutting out $1 million and still providing the same level of service is not an easy road.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you have any particular, how did you, when you knew you had to cut that amount out of your budget, where did you look to make cuts?
We really wanted to, first of all, protect instruction as much as possible. We wanted to ensure that we could maintain all of our instructional programs, some of which I've mentioned here today. And we also wanted to protect employees as much as we could. To ensure we didn't, cut salaries if possible, and to maintain as many positions as we could. But ultimately, we did have to cut positions out of the budget and some other categorical programs. But I will say that we were able to maintain all of our instructional programs throughout last year's budget cuts, and that was certainly something we were quite proud of. So.
Yeah, that's great. That's great for the students of Poquoson
Yes.
City. Yes. You mentioned in your foreign language program with the third graders in your elementary school, you have buddies. What were they called?
Conversation buddies.
Conversation buddies. I like that. What other things does your community do to support the school system?
We have an incredibly supportive community in Poquoson. We have all the civic groups are involved in our schools, whether it's Kiwanis or Lions Club, Exchange Club. Those folks actually come in and will tutor our students. We have one organization that does a tutoring program in our primary school. They come in and read to students. We have tutors in our that come in and tutor math at the middle school. And then they do other things like helping if we have events for parking, which is just something that's of great assistance to us. There isn't a day that I don't go in our schools that I don't see either community volunteers that don't have children in our school or parents in our buildings who are really in there working hard for us. And we also have the Poquoson Education Foundation, which is an organization that is providing some financial support to the school division in terms of grants for students or scholarships for them or grants for teachers. So not only are they in there working with us in terms of tutoring and helping sometimes just to beautify facilities, but they're also providing some additional financial support. So you couldn't ask for a more supportive community.
That's excellent. The grants for teachers, I assume they're small grants. What kind of things would teachers do with a foundation grant?
Teachers will do things such as purchase maybe some additional materials that they wouldn't be able to purchase otherwise. We had one grant that they were able to purchase some additional books that children could take home and practice reading with. These were primary students and then come back into school. And then we actually eventually brought in therapy dogs that the children actually read to the dogs, which for a kindergarten or first grader is quite a fun experience. So things like that just are a little bit innovative, that just provides a little additional support that the teacher might not otherwise have, or what the teacher might do is go out and spend their own money on that, and it's nice that the foundation can assist in that.
Can help support in that way. That's great. Well, clearly you have a high academic numbers in Poquoson. Well, what about the colleges and universities, post-secondary? What places do your students go?
They really do go all over. I think last year's class were accepted over 90 colleges and universities across the country. So we've got students, in schools such as Princeton, Florida State, out in Cincinnati, Tennessee. So they're really all over the country. But then also, obviously, a number of our students are in the state of Virginia and a variety of colleges and universities throughout the state. So I would say while we're small, we're certainly well represented out there in a variety of schools and universities.
That's great. What about other programs for those kids, for those students who aren't going to go on to a post-secondary college? What about programs for them? What kind of things do you have for those students?
Well, we have students who are involved getting what we call industry certifications. So they're getting certified out in some industries that will enable them to move right from our school and into a job. We work with the New Horizons Regional Center. So we have students who will go over there and, for example, will learn the skill of welding, and some of those will walk right into a local shipyard and start in a terrific job. We do have students who also go to the apprentice school, which is affiliated with Norfolk Grumman, and so they're learning skills that they'll move right into that company as well. So while we have a number of students moving to colleges and universities, we're preparing students also to move into the job world immediately after school.
That's great. That's great because college isn't necessarily right for everyone, and to have the opportunities. You mentioned New Horizons. Can you talk a little bit more about what New Horizons is?
Yes, New Horizons is a regional school located on the peninsula, and 6 of the peninsula school divisions participate in that. So it provides career and tech services to our students, so they can do everything from welding, as I mentioned, to cosmetology, to veterinary assistant, fire training to become firemen or women. And then there's also a governor school located there as part of New Horizons that focuses on math and science, and we have a number of students participating in that. And those students actually get to do research assistant work with actual scientists that are out maybe at NASA or Virginia Marine Institute. And also they have some special education programs, so our students that might have some high needs are able to get services through them. So it's very much an all-encompassing regional school that is very helpful to a school division like ours when we're small, and enables us to provide the services that a large school division provides.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great resource you have on the peninsula. And I think that's really great that the students getting to work with actual scientists from NASA or from VIMS. That's terrific. All right. One of the things that Poquoson is a member owner of WHRO, and our member owners, they each year they pay an assessment to WHRO, which is $2 a student. Currently, that's what it is. But this ongoing relationship with WHRO, what have been the benefits? What do you see as the benefits as the superintendent of Poquoson Schools as being a member of WHRO?
Really, the relationship we have with WHRO benefits us on, I would say, many fronts. First, let's talk about students. We're able to provide some services to our students in the classroom that we wouldn't otherwise have access to. One I'll point out is the streaming video that we're able to do. I mentioned earlier we're preparing students for the 21st century, and part of that is for them to be able to better use technology as they sort through information and learn new skills. So WHO provides some of that for us by providing services like streaming videos so that teachers are able to incorporate that in their classrooms, and students are able to access some things that they wouldn't be able to access, especially in these tight budget times. So, and obviously also the educational programming that's available that our teachers are able to incorporate into instruction and that students are able to use. And you know, I'd like to say too that I know that some of our students come to school having already watched some of that educational programming, so you're really helping to address needs of students that are pre-kindergarten age, so they come better prepared to be readers, which is very beneficial to us. And then in the area of staff, we're able to access some professional development that, again, we otherwise might not be able to provide for our teachers on all topics as we prepare them to better meet the needs of our students. So it provides an array of services that really reach all of our students and staff. And the new work in the area of developing virtual courses is also something that's been helpful. We do have students engaged in what's called Virtual Virginia, and I know WHRO is involved in that as well. And in this day and age, virtual learning is just something that many of our students are experiencing, and certainly as they move into college will experience even more. So WHRO is laying the foundation for that with us.
Well, we are delighted to work with our school superintendents and our school divisions. I think for the students and teachers throughout this area, it's been a great benefit for all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Well, that's really all of my questions, Dr. Parrish. Is there anything else you'd like to mention or add before we say goodbye?
No, I'd just like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about Poquoson. I think if you ever come by to visit, you'll find it really is just a wonderful small town community, and we've got wonderful schools and a very supportive community for our schools, and some great teachers and other staff members that make a difference for kids every day. So thanks for letting me talk about that.
Well, I am delighted, and thank you for coming by.
Thank you so much.
Now it's time to recognize our schools of the month. Burbank Elementary in Hampton is the first school in Virginia to offer the International Baccalaureate Primary Years Program. This exciting program allows children to participate in engaging hands-on instruction, learn a foreign language, practice positive attitudes, and see the relevance of their learning as it applies to the world around them. These students are prepared to live in the world by recognizing that there are other continents, countries, and cultures. For broadening horizons and opening the minds of young students, we applaud Burbank, our elementary school of the month. Arcadia Middle School in Accomack is the first middle school in the nation to receive a state-of-the-art aeronautical laboratory. This initiative, known as NASA Explorer Schools, promotes and supports the incorporation of NASA content and programs into science, technology, and mathematics curricula in grades 4 through 9 across the U.S. Grade-specific student programs provide opportunities for participation in research, problem-solving, and design challenges relating to NASA's missions. For encouraging career exploration through technology, engineering, and mathematics, we salute Arcadia, our middle school of the month. Lake Taylor High in Norfolk is creating leaders through the Academy of Leadership and Military Science. This is all possible through a collaborative venture between Norfolk Public Schools and a number of community, private sector, government, higher education, and military agencies. The Academy is comprised of cluster scheduling of core classes, naval science, and leadership, as well as year-round mentoring and internships. Students are introduced to character development while taking foreign languages and military science courses taught by certified public school teachers. Lake Taylor is providing opportunities for real life, and we are proud to honor them as our high school of the month. A senior at Walsingham Academy has been named a commended student in the 2010 National Merit Scholarship Program. About 34,000 commended students throughout the nation are being recognized for their exceptional academic talent. These students placed among the top 5% of more than 1.5 million students who took the 2008 preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. Celebrating over 60 years of emphasizing core values and high achievement, we congratulate Walsingham Academy, our Independent School of the Month. Hey, you guys! If you missed the Electric Company Circuit Tour live at the Virginia Children's Festival, here's a little taste of all the fun.
Thanks to all the kids, both young and old, who came out for the Virginia Children's Festival on Saturday, October 10th. There was lots of friends and out-of-this-world entertainment.
Hey, you guys!
A couple of PBS characters dropped by to shake hands with folks. Everyone had a doggone good time. If you missed it, don't worry. We'll be back next year.
Be sure to tune in weekdays at 5 p.m. to WHRO 15-1 for The Electric Company, and every day on WHRO Kids 15-3 at 7 a.m. and at 8 p.m. Their website at pbskids.org/electric company is pretty cool too. Check it out! This program is available via streaming at schooltalk.org, as well as all the links we talked about. Well, that's all for now. Happy Thanksgiving. See you next time on School Talk.